Hello, it's Felix. I'm from UnConventional. We are a group of Dumfries residents who are in the process of forming a charity to hopefully buy this beautiful old convent building very close to the centre of town. I work as a gardener, a community gardener and a garden designer, so I'm very interested in plants, nice plants, and more generally in gardens and green spaces. I think a lot about how gardens and green spaces interact with people and how they can improve well-being, happiness, and bring a lot of things to people's lives. Over the last few months, I've been in a lot of touch with Liz West. Liz was a pupil at the convent here in the 1970s, I think, and Liz has been sending me some incredible images of the old gardens here and various things going on in the land around the convent. A couple of weeks ago, on a very wet Sunday in November, Liz and I met up here and she walked and talked to me around the building, bringing out different aspects of the history of the gardens and different parts of the land, all of which is fascinating. So I thought I'd make this short film to bring you in on that and to show you some of the images that Liz has been sending me over the last few months.
Here is where the story all started. In the 1800s, Lady Herries of Treggles, Marcia of Vavasour, Constable Maxwell wanted to build a convent here on the top of Corbelly Hill in reparation for holy vestments from Lincluden and Sweetheart being burnt here by the common hangman on this very spot. A tree was planted here in the 1800s, and unfortunately that tree has gone now, but it was here, and the pupils at the 2002 reunion, our first reunion, were photographed around it. This area has been used for many things. Originally it was flower beds, very beautiful flower beds with a road right up the middle, and then the outdoor gym was here for a while, and then latterly it was used, when there were many boarders in the school, as the drying greens for the laundry. Eventually, after the nuns had left, it was used as a car park when the Lighthouse Church used the building. In the early days, the gardens were very, very well attended. Looking back at old photographs, this was a beautiful and welcoming area. It was very well tended, with lovely shrubs and flowers. Now it's very neglected, and sadly it's needing some work done. And here in the centre there was a beautiful bed of flowers in a circular area. In days gone by, when the convent became a boarding school, this was the outdoor gym around the turn of the century. When I was at school here in the 1970s, it was our tennis court, and over there was what we called the banking, which was a secret area, quite a thin strip that went all the way around to the hockey pitch, where we spent time sunbathing when we should have been studying, and where we couldn't be seen by Mother Monica in her office. This is the front of the convent house. Now, as a pupil here, we would never see this side of the building because the school is on the other side. And originally there were 3 terraces sloping down, but you wouldn't know it now. There are old photographs. You wouldn't know it now because it's just a wasteland. Much of Corbelly Hill was a nursery where fruit and vegetables were grown, and the nuns had a lot of ground here, at one point more than 21 acres. So there were gardeners who helped them to grow the vegetables, and they also kept chickens. So they were living quite sustainably, not self-sufficient, but at those times they were living sustainably and growing a lot of their own food. Can you imagine how much food was grown here? Believe it or not, this was our hockey pitch, and the convent girls loved to play tennis and hockey, and we played hockey all winter in all weathers. If you have a look at it now, you'd hardly believe that any of us could have lifted a hockey stick and hit a ball down there. There were horses grazing on it a while ago too, a chestnut and a paler one, and they looked quite at home. A lot of people thought that our hockey pitch was actually on a slope. No, it was flat once you got to it, but it was quite a long slope to get down there. But we loved it. What a mess it is now.
We at UnConventional agree strongly. So we really want to see this building and all the land and grounds around it restored back, to make it something beautiful again, to bring more people in here and make it a useful space for the local community and local people. I found it fascinating listening to Liz and her recollecting the stories of the nuns who lived here and the ways in which they lived. You know, they were keeping chickens, they were growing their own vegetables, they were embroidering and sewing and repairing all their own clothes. To me, that speaks of a very different way of living, and in this current day and age when we're all thinking about sustainability and how to reduce food miles and live more closely to the land, I think the example here of the way the nuns used to live is really powerful, and it feeds back into the history that we want to celebrate, that there were some really amazing things going on here at this convent, and we think that should be part of its future. So we'd love it if you visited our website, if you filled in our vision quest, because really we want to hear from you what you would like to see in this building. We've got some ideas, but we're just a few people. So if you're interested, get involved, tell us what you think, join UnConventional. It's up to you, it's up to us to make something of this building. So I just want to thank Liz for showing me around, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of the pictures and the old gardens around the old convent here. Thanks for watching, and good night.